What's your favorite, most recent, I'm a grown man with a paycheck fun purchase? Story 1. A last-minute trip to go see the total eclipse. Edit. Thanks everyone for the shitty weather reports. Don't worry, I will see closer to the time what the cloud cover situation is. You cannot tell what the cloud situation will be at any single hour of the day from 1 week out. Everything is refundable. Story 2. Sitting at home, looking at my ridiculously oversized dinner table I had from the old marriage that I had brought to my small condo and was taking up so much fucking space. Looking at it and thinking about how much I hated it. The scratched up top, the fact that I never extended it to the full size because the ex-wife wanted a table big enough to entertain but never entertained ever, and then realized, wait, this is my house and I don't have to clear a new purchase with fucking anyone. Went to the furniture store, got a nice smaller table. Seats 6 instead of 10, can expand up to 8 whereas the old one could fit 14 max. Got it bar height because that's what I like, and threw the old table into the fucking dumpster in pieces. The new table is modern rustic, a nice neutral gray-stained table, and I got a matching half-sized liquor cabinet for the beer and wine glasses. That is my favorite because it kicked off a slow change where, as I slowly pay off the furniture on a store CC, no interest if paid in 1 year, ECT, I go and buy another item to replace the furniture me and my now ex-wife had. The plan has thus been called Project Obliviate, and has removed the aforementioned table, a desk, 1 couch, and will soon claim an entertainment center and curio set in the next year. Actually, it's going to be about 6 months until the next replacement occurs. Story 3. I spent 18 years in a marriage where I earned the money and spent none of it. She left me a year ago and I've been making some purchases that I've wanted to make for the last year. Built a new PC and lots of dumb little things I want that I would have been chastised for making. Story 4. I bought a hard hat. It's shaped like a cowboy hat. Everybody at work has made some kind of derogatory comment about it. It's just fuel to the fire because, quite frankly, I'm cool as fuck. Yeehaw, brother. Story 5. After years of perfectly adequate grilling on my old charcoal BBQ, I finally caved and got myself a pellet grill. Truth be told, I could have cooked just fine without it. But now I'm smoking briskets with the touch of a button while sipping a cold one. It's about the convenience, and maybe a little bit about feeling like a pitmaster. Story 6 bought a completely custom bolt-action rifle in .308 for hunting and the range. It's also completely fitted exactly to my measurements with a custom injection molded stock. Everything is made to my exact specifications. Story 7. I splurged on a high-end mechanical keyboard with more RGB lighting than a Christmas tree display. Totally unnecessary since I'm not even a hardcore gamer, but typing has never felt so satisfying or bright. Story 8. A boat. My wife and I have a 7-year-old daughter. I wanted to get something that would be fun for her and her friends and allow me to make more memories with her/wife. There will come a day when she isn't that excited to hang out with us. That day is not today, and I will do everything I can to enjoy the time I have with them. When my wife got pregnant, we both endured a steady stream of, your life is over, say goodbye to sleep, etc., etc., which has now changed to, best day of a boat owner's life is, and more like, bust out another 1,000, am I right? But at the end of the day, I figure I can always make more money, but I can't make more time. Story 9. While on a little vacation in Santa Barbara, CA, we met a couple at some random wine night that our hotel happened to be having, who were a bit older than us at the time, maybe 45, 48, but still pretty youthful, so we got along, and felt the need to reveal to us, repeatedly, that they had just bought a boat. It was amusing and annoying at the same time. The attitude was like, we just bought a boat. We aren't really boat people and have no idea what we're doing with it, but we got one. We are so silly. As the kids would say these days, it was giving rich asshole, but at the same time they were nice and fun people. It was such a weird part of the conversation. They kept trying to work it back in too. Speaking of boats, we can just go around buying boats. Ha ha! What are we going to do with this boat? They cost so much to store and maintain, but we're stuck with it now. Maybe it was something exactly what people are posting about in this thread, though. Like maybe they finally made it, and they were like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the boat store today and buy a boat. It was such a strange exchange that we talked about it for weeks afterwards. I'm probably doing a terrible job of conveying how this was, you had to be there. The thing that made it even more odd than just the conversation at face value was the fact that this was not a high-end hotel. It was a reasonably priced 3-star hotel, and it was cool, but not super nice, even to us plebs. Like we had to request to change rooms because something was unsatisfactory. Forgot what, though. With the general air these people were giving off, we were like, why are you two slumming it at this hotel? It didn't add up with some of the other topics and the careers they said they had. Like they made themselves out to sound like people who should have been at the Four Seasons. Story 10. Good boots. If you told me 10 years ago I'd ever spend $250 on any kind of shoe, I'd have laughed in your face. But my feet thank me every day, and they'll last me 10 years if I take care of them. Shit, you said fun. Does my growing collection of power tools count? Story 11. Before marriage and kids, it was a BMW. More recently, it was a 65 OLED TV. I had an epiphany one day, looked at my wife and daughters and proclaimed today is the day we upgrade our old TV. 2 hours later, we were watching sports in glorious life-size 4K. Story 12. The wife and I have always had a casual interest in motorcycles, so hell with it, I'm going to book us for a beginner motorcycle training course. 8 hours classroom, 4 days on 9+ different bikes. Why not? Couple months later, pulled the trigger a couple motorcycles. Story 13. It was 1976. I was making a whopping $2, 50 hour at age 16, 20 cents higher than minimum wage, and it was an office job, so I wasn't on my feet all day. My family didn't have a lot of money, which is why I started working while in the 11th grade. So with my first paycheck, I took my mom and brothers out to dinner at Big Boy. I remember being all proud to say, get whatever you want, even the combo meal and a milkshake. It's on me. Story 14. I'm poor. Mine is just a Breyer horse. They're expensive, $70 for the big ones. More if your local stores don't carry them anymore and you have to order online. I've been wanting the Cody's Wish one since I learned one was being made. I've loved the real horse and his story since I first heard about it a couple years ago. Nobody got it for me for Christmas. None of my local stores carry Breyers anymore. I used to collect them but haven't bought one in several years. I finally found a store with an online site with reasonable prices, and my Cody's Wish Breyer is arriving tomorrow. $87 for a decorative toy, but I'm happy to spend it. Story 15. Honestly, a hot young girlfriend. She was in a bad living situation and needed help. I was really feeling the need for some feminine companionship. We talked a little, made an agreement, went on a few dates just to see if things were compatible, and she moved in. Story 16. I legit told my SO that line in my native language when I wanted to buy a Nintendo Switch only to be able to play Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild years after it was released. On one hand, buying a console for the sole purpose of playing just one game, without considering other titles, seemed wasteful. But also I'm a grown-ass man with a paycheck, and that is freaking nostalgia bait right there. We later found other games for it. My SO played the hell out of Animal Crossing when the pandemic hit. But yeah, that properly. Latest one was a pizza oven for my backyard because I like to cook and I cannot help myself with kitchen gear. Story 17. It will probably give away my age a bit, but with my first couple big boy paychecks, I upgraded from a 20-tube TV to a 50 plasma. Felt like a goddamn millionaire playing video games on that thing. Story 18. New PC. In all fairness, it replaced a PC that was so old, Windows 10 didn't recognize the onboard USB 3 chipset. It worked just fine. The CPU was an i5 4570, and with an SSD, it booted up in no time. But I'm a grown man and I can afford a new PC. Story 19. Celebrated my 30-year birthday recently. I've always loved Legos, but growing up in a single parent with 4 kids household, we didn't really had any extra money. And Legos were and are really fucking expensive, at least in my country. I always dreamed of having these huge Lego sets where I could just sit around a table for hours straight building one, but as I said, they can be really expensive. So when I started working full-time, I started saving money. I've never been rich and life has had its ups and downs, but I never quit on my goal to. But the Star Wars Millennium Falcon Lego set, you know, the big one. So I turned 30 and had saved the money, bought the fucking thing, cost around €800. And my mom, who I love very dearly, asked me what I wanted as a birthday gift. I told her that she can come with me and help me build the Millennium Falcon set. So basically, I celebrated my 30th birthday with my mom building Legos and having a few beers. Story 20. Not quite the answer you're looking for, but a paycheck was involved. As a child, I used to collect Legos. I had 2 50-gallon totes of Legos, tens of thousands of pieces from hundreds of sets. When I entered my teen years, my parents decided that I should no longer be playing with Legos. I was made to sell both totes to my cousins, along with all the associated instructions. I was forced to sell them for $200 all told. Those cousins proceeded to rebuild and resell every set, making thousands of dollars for themselves over several years. I didn't touch Legos for more than a decade. I mentioned this story to my GF a couple of months ago. She was a grown woman with a paycheck, and she bought me the Lego Technic Liebherr LR 13,000 crane. I built the fuck out of that crane, most fun I've had in a while as far as my inner child is concerned. Story 21, Steam Deck. I'm not a huge gamer by any stretch, but traveling a lot more for work, I got bored very quickly with just listening to music or watching Netflix from my hotel room. I can now unwind at the end of a long day and play some classic emulated games or some new releases as well. Story 22. Favorite. My Retro Tink 2X Pro, the composite switch box that plugs into it, and the HDMI switch that plugs into. It allows me to have 12 different consoles connected in my living room over one single HDMI input on my TV, regardless of if they're composite consoles at 480i or newer consoles in HD. Most recent and runner-up is the dual-zone Ninja air fryer my wife bought to replace the old TFL Actifree from 2016 that died on us. Story 23. Volcano Hybrid. I have ulcerative colitis and frequently use marijuana, calm the constant cramping and pains that come with it. I have had a little Pax for years, but wanted something that could be quicker and not be stinky, so I can minimize the time I'm missing with family. It was more money than I am comfortable spending on myself for basically anything, but the time with family is priceless. Story 24. Going on a train trip from LA to New Orleans for my birthday in a few weeks. Wanted something to help pass 2 days on the train, not something I needed, have a Fold 4 and Flip 5 already. But I got me a new Pixel 8 Pro to play around with on the train. Why? Because fuck it, I'm a grown man with a paycheck, that's why. Story 25. Most recently, a last-minute trip to Memphis with my spawn. Museums, IKEA, barbecue, money well splurged, memories made. Earlier this year, I bought some great jeans and went nuts on Webstorrent. I spent too much that evening, but I got stuff that I needed and have used weekly, if not daily, since. Before that, airfare and a pit ticket to see Green Day in NYC this August. I quit drinking earlier this year and now have an extra $600/mo on top of having the highest salary I've ever had. A comfortable combo. Story 26. I'm a 39-year-old man with 3 kids and own a home. There is never, I repeat, never a time where I just think, you know what, I've got some extra cash laying around, what the hell? I owe $189K on my mortgage, but it's at a 2.8% APR. I still owe about $9K on one of our cars. The other one is paid off. I do have student loan debt to the tune of $85K, but that's also at a 3.9% APR, and it'll be paid off in just under 5 years. When we book a vacation, I usually put everything on a credit card and then spend 6 to 9 months paying that off. I have a little bit of money in savings, but nowhere near what the standard recommendation is for an emergency fund. I do, however, max out my $401K, and we have a little over $25K per kid in a $529 college account. All that to say, I'm never as financially settled as I'd like to be, and never feel great about an impulse fun buy for myself. All that said, last winter, I literally said, what the hell? I am a grown man with a paycheck, household primary breadwinner. And I want a new guitar, damn it. $1,600 later, and I had a new guitar. Taylor, 224, DLXK CE. Last week I said, I'm a grown man with a paycheck, damn it, and I've been wanting an electric skateboard for years. $900 later, and I am now the proud owner of an electric skateboard. Meepo Voyager. These purchases always leave me feeling a little bit guilty, because that money could have been put into savings, or put towards paying off my mortgage or student loans, but I've never missed any payment. I don't feel like I'm drowning in debt, and you only live once. Story 27. More like I'm a grown man with a bad kid's mind with a paycheck. So I bought 11 boxes of stink bombs, which a box holds 32, which was around $140 and $3.96 bottles of stink. I lived in a small town in Ohio, and I constantly pranked the gas station and local grocery store for 7 months. I'm telling it was the most hilarious shit I've ever done. A buddy of mine even paid to watch me walk around the Walmart covered, and it's not the best smell up close. It doesn't affect me, I literally wear shit at work. Septic tank maintenance. Best kid fun I've had in life. Story 28. Been trying to get more serious about working out in my basement and didn't have anything above 30 pounds dumbbells. We have some other stuff like a simple bench, some dumbbell bars and weight plates, but I've been coveting Nuobel adjustable dumbbells for quite a while. They're pretty expensive compared to other brands. Finally caved and ordered them. Best purchase in a long time.